Welcome to NFT Rebels, the podcast where technology, creativity, education, and non-fungible experiences meet each other. It's me, Annie Alexander, and in each episode, me and the Rebels will have a real unscripted talk, share genuine opinions, and show raw emotions. Should we start? Hello everyone, and welcome to the NFT Rebels. Today we have a little bit different episode. This time we're gonna walk you through an interesting new initiative. So we will start by introducing Emma Smith. Emma Smith is Collective Learning Team Lead at Fetch.ai. And what we'll do is we'll dive into the platform, understand what is it all about, and then she will show you how it all works, because I feel like it's something unique in the space. And as you know, NFT Rebels is trying to bring in different ideas and look at the NFT space from different angles. So trying to explain that it's not only NFT art, that there are many different initiatives happening around it, and just to show you different opportunities and possibilities that the NFT technology can bring into the life, so you can have more creative ideas and more options of, broadening your horizons in terms of what you can do in the space. So Emma, welcome to the NFT Rebels. I'm very happy to have you over.
Great, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm really excited to come on and tell people about this event that we've been developing at Fetch.ai, which is called Colearn PAInt. Go ahead.
Okay, so we'll have to talk about what it is. At the moment, just to sort of, from my observer's viewpoint, at the moment in the market, what we have are mostly marketplaces, platforms where people can mint their NFTs and sell them and buy them and collect them. So it's more like a marketplace related model. Obviously, they have different features in terms of, if you collaborate with an artist, you can split the fees and you can split the royalties, etc., etc. So there are some collaboration elements to it. But I haven't yet seen, correct me if I'm wrong, a platform where actually it's all around collaboration. So can you tell us what Colearn PAInt does? What's the whole kind of idea behind it, and what have you built, guys?
Mm-hmm. So the sort of quick description is that this is an event where people are going to collaborate together to shape the output of a machine learning model that generates art. And at the end of it, there's going to be 3 NFTs produced, and these are going to be auctioned off, and people will get rewards based on their participation. So the kind of big idea that we want to get people used to is what the collective learning team does at Fetch.ai, which is this idea that you've got machine learning models and they're really valuable. And through smart contracts, you can have a machine learning model that's owned and controlled by people who've staked tokens in it, and they get to shape its development. They get to sort of govern it, and they also get a share in the profits that you get from something like that when it does something useful. So this is sort of like what's going to happen in Colearn PAInt, because we've got there's a machine learning model that generates art. Users are going to come in, they're going to stake some fetch tokens in order to take part, and then they're going to shape the output of this model. And at the end, we're going to come out with 3 NFT artworks that they will then get the benefits from.
Okay, it's interesting. So basically, it's kind of, it uses AI technology, and it uses the blockchain technology, and it also uses the token in terms of governance and voting and decision making from the community perspective, and then you get a collective sort of result in shape of 3 different NFTs that are going to come out to the market, which is like the end goal of it, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's not a platform where where people, say upload their own images or things like that. It's more of this event, this process where everyone comes together to collaboratively shape the model and generate these artworks.
Okay, I mean, since you have the AI element into it, do you think that the participants in this project and in the process need to be artists, or it can be pretty much anyone?
I would say it can be pretty much anyone in this case, because the input that people get into this model is largely determined by their votes on which the best ones are. So I guess everyone's kind of got a feel for which art they like more, which things they like. Maybe in that kind of sense, everyone's a bit of an artist. But yeah, it's chiefly about deciding like which ones they prefer and voting for their favorites. That's how people get to shape the artworks.
And in terms of creation of the work, and the options to choose from, those are coming from machine learning and the AI side of things, right?
That's right. So there's several rounds of this voting, shaping sort of process. And the machine learning model is generating the artworks that everyone is voting on. And then those, the favorites go through to the next round. The model learns to produce things that are more like what people liked before. That's how that interaction works.
Got it. So I think I'll just ask the last question just for me to imagine things better, and then we'll move into sort of showcasing how it all actually works so people can see it and understand better before it's out. So, I mean, the options that machine learning is going to come up with, they are probably based on some kind of data that it has been fed with. So where is the data coming from? Like what kind of possibilities they're getting as a full set of data that later on they generate and turn into options?
It's a very good question. So we know that data sets are one of the key bits of machine learning algorithms. These days, the data that we've trained the model on have been drawn from freely licensed images that we've collected from the internet. So a little bit of a skew towards maybe traditional and sort of Western forms of art. But I think the things that it produces, and we'll see some examples later, are very interesting. It's not oil paintings. It's more So it's learnt from those as examples, but it's also going to be shaped by the users.
Okay, sounds great. So I guess what we can do is we can share your screen and you can sort of lead us to just showing how it works and how it looks. And then, in between during the process, I'll probably ask questions because just for the audience to know, I haven't tried anything myself yet. So for me, it's like, the same experience as for the audience. I'm going to see these for the first time. It's actually, so most probably I'll be asking questions that you guys will be having, the ones who are watching. So hopefully you'll have everything covered eventually. So should I share your screen, and would you like to?
Yes, let's do that. And then I'll walk people through it.
Okay, this is the one, right? We're on the right one.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Great. So this is the front page. We've got a little bit of information about how the Colearn PAInt project works. So the way it works is that initially there's an auction process where people stake their tokens. This is Fetch tokens from Fetch.ai. They stake their FET so that they get slots to participate in this process. So that's the auction. Once the auction closes, we've got a certain number of people that have these slots. There's 200 slots in total, but people can get more than one if they want. So these slots determine the amount of rewards that you get at the end of the process as well.
For the Fetch tokens, just for people to understand better, like how can you get them? Like what is the process? Where do you get them? Because I guess, since it's the staking thing, you have to get the token first and then you have to stake it. So how does that work in that sense? Like when we just start and come in, what do we do? Like do we need to buy it with ETH, or how does that part work?
Yeah. I always forget that not everybody has Fetch tokens. So it's listed on Coinbase and Binance. So you would, you can purchase it on those platforms, and then use it for staking here.
Okay, and in terms of staking, you purchase them. You have, if you purchase them on Coinbase or Binance, I presume you get them in the wallets of Coinbase and Binance, and later on you have to move it to MetaMask and
yes,
what do you do
exactly.
next?
Yeah, so the auction participation is done through MetaMask. So you would transfer your coins out of the online exchange into your MetaMask account, and then you can connect your wallet to this website, and that's how. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to place bids.
Okay, got it.
Cool. And
okay.
the FET is locked up until the end of the process. So there's a lockup period of a month, which covers this building voting process, and then also the final auction of the artworks that are created. And then everybody gets to withdraw their FET again.
Is there a minimum amount of tokens that you need to stake in order to participate?
So the slots, this auction kind of helps us find what the price of a slot should be. So it's a Dutch auction, which means that the price starts high and gradually decreases. People will get, so the slot price will be finalized at some price that's based on how many bids that we've had. So that'll determine the minimum amount of FET that's required to participate.
Okay, got it. Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, cool. So, and then there's going to be the build phase, which is where everybody submits their unique entropy that's used to seed this generator. And then we have the voting that I've talked about a bit already, where people are influencing what's produced by voting on it. And then the final stage is after the final round of voting. You've got 3 winners, and they're going to go through and be minted as NFTs. Okay. So I guess let's start by having a look at the auction. Okay, so the auction is all controlled by a smart contract that's controlling the price of this and about the bidding as well. So the price starts high, so it's a Dutch auction, and it slowly decreases. So you might think, well, I'll wait until the end when the slots are nice and cheap, but slots might sell out before it gets to the lowest price. So what it's showing here is that it starts at a high price, and then it gradually decreases, and the slots will reduce. If you bid early, you might think, well, I've paid more for my slot. I don't want to do that. I want to get a cheaper one. But if the number of slots you get is determined by the amount of your bid divided by the final slot price. So if you bid early, you'll just get some more slots. And more slots are better because that determines what fraction of the rewards you get at the end of this process when the final NFTs get sold.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tricky balance that one has to decide in terms of when to get in, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. And the maths of this is a little bit complicated to make it work with this Dutch auction, but that's the sort of the big picture of how this works.
Got it.
Great. So my wallet's connected at the moment, so I can enter a bid through this. But I think actually I didn't set this auction to run for long enough, so it's actually closed already. So I think this bid will be declined, but I'll just show it so that you can see how the auction will work. In the real thing, this auction is going to last for 10 days, so there'll be plenty of time for people to come along, find the platform, and participate. So what you'll get when you bid...
And it's launching tomorrow?
That's right. Tomorrow at 10 a.m, the auction, 10 a.m. British Summer Time, the auction will go live.
So tomorrow, August 24th. Yeah.
Cool. So this is what you'll see when you place a bid. So one confirmation at the beginning about authorizing spending of your tokens. And then a little while later, there'll be another one that is about interacting with the contract. So we'll see if this auction has actually It looks like the auction hasn't actually ended.
Nice.
It is still running, so bids are still open.
So is it on chain? Like, are we gonna have the same sort of, the same old painful gas fee element into the whole thing or not?
There are gas fees, yes, for this. So FET is an ERC20 token. The gas fees for bidding should be fairly low. I think it's $1 or so.
Okay.
Although, and then there's also some costs associated with transferring your tokens out of the contract. The contract sort of locks up the tokens till the end of the lockup period, and then they're released. There are some gas fees to pay. They are a little bit of a pain, but they should be reasonably low.
Okay.
Okay, so I did manage to get my bid in just before the end, which is good. So once you place a successful bid, you'll turn up in the table, and you'll also be able to see how many slots you've got. Because I was the only bidder, I got all of the slots. But more people will take part in the real thing. Like I said, we've got about 200 slots in total, and it'll run for 10 days or so to give people time to take part. Okay, so once the auction is completed, then we move on to the build phase. The aim here is that the machine learning model needs to be seeded with some entropy, like a source of randomness. So I'm just going to switch over to the build phase now so we can see how that works. Great, so that should update, the UI should update in a moment and allow us access to the build phase. Great, so.
Okay, so you get access to the build phase only after you've placed your bid and you have it approved,
only
right?
after you've actually got some slots, yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, you need to be a successful bidder, and then you'll get some slots in, and then you get slots, and then you get to go through to the build phase.
Okay.
Just going to set the end time so the website displays correctly. Okay, great. So this, the build phase, so like I said, this is the machine learning model needs to have a source of entropy, which is a randomness, random input that it can use to seed this model. So the users will submit entropy by drawing in this box. So unfortunately, it thinks that I've already submitted my entropy. Let me just clear that data out. So I want to be able to, I was trying this out earlier, so it's got some previous data in. So we'll have a bunch of winners from the people who've got slots, and then there'll be their status, so whether they've generated their entropy yet. And then this box here, it allows you to submit entropy in a sort of interesting, engaging way, which is by drawing in this box. So so you can draw here. I don't know actually what I'm going to draw. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a stick person. See, I'm not an artist.
Yeah, neither am I.
Cool. So you draw in the box, and it converts this into the entropy that's required for making these tokens. Entropy required to seed the model. What can I draw here? Can I draw a rocket? So yeah, so we've got here, drawing in Paint is hard. But
yeah,
the point of this, yeah, the point of this is is creating this entropy that the model is going to need for the next phase. So, and then you can make your drawing as detailed as you like.
Yeah, I'm sure artists will have fun with that phase.
Cool. And so once the entropy has filled up, you'll be able to submit it. And then this participation phase will last for a couple of days to give everybody time to submit their entropy. And then we'll move round onto the voting rounds, which is where we're going to have the first set of machine learning generated art. Okay, so I think I'll switch around the back end to being on the next phase, our first round of voting.
Yeah. So basically, in terms of just the process, you get the tokens on Coinbase on Binance, you move them to MetaMask, you stake them, you bid, and then you draw. That's where we're at,
yes.
right?
Yep, that's where we're at so far.
Okay. So once you finish drawing, it will have a button saying submit or something like that?
Yes, that's right. So once we've done our drawing and we've filled up the generator, just going to do some random squiggles, then we'll get a button to submit the entropy.
Okay. So it can't be just one dot or one line. It needs to be like a sufficient amount of drawings inside.
Yeah, really unleash your creativity. Fill up the box.
Okay.
But yes, we're now moving through to the voting round. And this is where we'll see for the first time artwork that's been generated by the machine learning model. So yeah, I think it produces things that they look kind of cool. It's often slightly almost like I don't know, hallucinogenic, kind of these abstract, colourful things. And this is all based on the sort of patterns that it's learnt from its training data, plus the entropy that we generated in the previous round. So the images we're seeing here, because that generation process takes a little while, these ones are ones that we've generated beforehand.
Okay, so basically what it does, it takes, based on the data set, it generates something and then it mixes it up with your entropy drawings. So it's kind of a collaboration between the artist's stuff in their entropy, box, and plus what the AI has generated. So basically, like, you could say that the end result is like human plus AI kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Working in collaboration. Yeah, the humans are shaping the output of this AI.
Okay, sounds cool. I mean, it looks cool. It's I mean,
yeah,
I'm not an artist, so I don't understand too much of this stuff. So I might not even have thought that it's AI generated, to be fair.
Yeah, that's often what I think. I think these look really cool, and you can't tell that like a machine drew it. So yeah, we've got various options. So
do you have to choose only one, or
in this stage you get to pick your 5 favorite ones,
5 best ones, okay,
that you do by selecting them out of here. So I think that first one was very nice, actually. This kind of, I think it looks like a lake with hills in the background.
Yeah.
And then yes, you pick your 5 favorite ones. So I think that one's pretty colorful as well. Which ones do you like? If I scroll through all these,
I like the one underneath that. Underneath the one you picked.
This one.
Yeah.
Hive. Yeah. I think that's really colorful. It's really vibrant. You can see there's a kind of, it's almost like a kind of abstract flower going on in the center. Excellent. So let's select that one as one of our ones. And then we've got a few sort of calmer images, so you can click on them, make them bigger to get a proper look at them. I always find it hard to choose. I love the colors on that one though, actually. Someone should make that into a dress.
Yeah. Or a scarf or something. Yeah.
Actually, I quite like that one. Do you have any other favorites?
I mean, the one next to the one you chose. Oh, actually, the one on the bottom right looks a little bit kind of,
This one with the blues and greens. It's a bit like a peacock's tail, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like a peacock tail.
Excellent. So let's select that one. And then I think we get to
we
pick
have one
more.
more. Okay. The one with yellow looks cool.
This one?
Yeah.
Or
no, the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice sort of bright summery color, isn't it? So let's select that one as well. And then that's selected correctly. Oh, I think we might have picked our 5 already, actually.
Okay.
See up at the top.
Yeah, we're done.
Great. Yeah. So these are our artworks. You can rearrange them if there's ones that you like even more. So let's make Peacock's Tail our second one. Great. And then you'll submit your vote, and this will once we've got. Okay, we should get rid of that bit. Once the votes have been collected, so this phase lasts maybe a day or so, then once the votes have been collected, then we get up the winners from this process, and then that goes into the machine learning model. We train the model a bit more, and then there will be artworks for round 2.
Okay, so basically this is for shortlisting the artwork that goes to round 2, and then another voting stage comes in round 2 to pick up the winners. Yeah.
We've got 3 rounds of voting. So
3 rounds. Okay.
Yes, but yes, that's pretty.
But the process is the same way. You just pick, you just get a smaller selection to pick from.
Yes, you get another selection of art that's shaped by the winners from the previous round. And so we have round 2, and then we have round 3, and then the winners from round 3 are the ones that go through to be generated into NFTs.
Okay, sounds cool. So basically we don't need the screen anymore, right? I guess. Okay, so let's say we passed all the rounds. We ended up with the 3 NFTs. They got minted, and then what happens with those NFTs? Are they being sold? Are they being airdropped? Or what happens next?
They are being sold at the end on OpenSea, and then all of the creators who participated will get a share of the rewards, and that's all controlled via a smart contract.
Okay, got it. So basically, whoever got into the gone through the whole process and had the token staked, basically what happens is you get the part of the royalties as a participator based on your portion, but you also get your tokens unlocked as well, right? After 1 month.
That is right. Yeah.
So you get that back as well.
Yes. So Fetch takes a small cut of the royalties from the sale, and the rest of it gets divided up amongst the people that staked. So if you had 5 slots out of 10 slots, then you'd get half of that money.
Okay, and for bidding, you used some part of your Fetch tokens to bid, right?
No, they're just locked up in the contract. So
okay, so basically gas fees are the only thing that is a cost for you in order to go through the whole process.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, some gas fees that we can't really escape from.
No, of course, yeah.
But you get back your FET out of the contract once the lockup period ends.
Okay, so basically, I mean, I don't see. I mean, there is no substantial investment or kind of money at risk per se. It seems, right? I mean,
you're locking up your FET, so you can't spend it for anything else. Obviously you can't transfer it or do anything else with it for that time. So there's that kind of skin in the game in that sense. But I think people hopefully should find this quite appealing because it's a bit of a win-win for them. You've got some Fetch tokens, then you can take part, and then you get a reward at the end. So
okay, sounds good. So is the main purpose of the project kind of to showcase the technology and the platform, or what has been the trigger for coming up with this idea? Like what have been team's motivations behind it?
Mm-hmm. We want to get people interested and engaged and used to this idea that a machine learning model is something that you can own a stake in, that you can govern and you can get rewards from. That's the core of what the collective learning team is trying to build. In the future, we're planning to have, there'll be a marketplace of models. You will be able to say, well, I'll invest some funds, say, in training this model a bit better. And then maybe that model does something useful, like all the kinds of things you can do with machine learning models, really. Maybe it detects like diseases from scans, or maybe it generates text. When rewards come in from the model doing useful things, then all the people that put in their stake, that participated in training it, will then get a benefit from it. And this is what we're trying to get people interested and used to with this idea here, which is that you've got this model that's producing these beautiful artworks, and you're shaping it. You're locking up some of your FET as capital, and at the end, then you get a share in the rewards.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. It's definitely kind of something different from what we see every day in the market, and it mixes up two pretty popular technologies, which is the AI and the blockchain together, which is cool as well. And I think for many people, it will have kind of, an interesting, because there is this curiosity factor as well, right? Like you're curious to see what has been generated, what you vote on, like how does that look? Because it's kind of, it's not predictable in advance. So when you're doing your doodles, or, when you're doing your part of it, you never know how it will shape up and what it will look like at the end. So, it may be pretty cool. In this case, in this concept, as far as I understood, we're talking about visual art only, and into that format, right? We don't have multi-format, multi-dimension stuff as of yet. It's just
it's
kind
just
of
visual
drawing.
Yes. Yeah, 2D visual art, at least for this iteration. If this really takes off and people are really engaged with this, then we've got various thoughts about there's machine learning models that will sort of 3Dify flat images. So it'll detect, say, this is a picture of a face, and then it'll give you the ability to sort of change your focus so it looks, so that you get a sense of depth from the image. So you get out like a little video where it looks like the perspective is moving around.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to see the URL. Like, where should they go once it's launched? Where should people go to?
Our official URL. I might have to look that one up. Actually, this one is just for demonstration purposes. The official one.
Will there be a link from Fetch.ai website, or?
Yeah, and through our social media channels as well, we'll be promoting this. So yeah, we'll have the link for the artwork.
This is correct, right? Fetch.ai.
Yes, that looks correct.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, before I will include the actual direct link in the description. But yeah, for those of you who are watching the video, just go to Fetch.ai, and from there will be a link to the project and to the auction. So then you can go it from there. So yeah, I mean, again, like I always kind of like just to reinforce the context. NFT Rebels is looking for non-standard, interesting stories and interesting projects that are doing something different in the market. Again, I'm just an outside observer. I'm not involved with the team. I'm not a user. I haven't seen this before. So we together with the audience, we went through the whole thing just to discover the thing. And yeah, I'm very curious to see once you launch how it goes, and how the people get engaged with it, and what turns out from it. Because I have a feeling that if this pilot goes well, there are loads of different elements that you could add to it, and it can progress and go deeper and have more things happening around it rather than just 2D paintings. But for the future, so it's interesting to see how things develop further and how people can interact with this stuff even more and use both technologies to their benefits.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, like art is such a people can see it immediately. They get the sort of output of the machine learning model that they understand, that they can straight away say, oh, this one's better, this one's less good. But lots of machine learning models, they're a bit abstract, maybe even a bit boring. But this art model, I just think it's pretty cool that a machine is coming up with works of art.
Yeah, it's there have been few projects as far as I remember. I don't remember the names of them, but there have been some stuff related to writing, and I know that AI now is actually coming up with copyright for advertising and stuff like that. So it has been already some implications in terms of different standard situations and similar things that do work. So you can input some information about your company, your service, etc., and then AI kind of spits out an ad copy for Facebook ads or or Twitter ads or whatever. It can give you a possible script for your video ad that you're going to produce and stuff like that. So I know that these things sort of work and are already starting being applied in everyday life in different sort of demonstrations. So it's interesting to see how it's going to play out in the art world and NFT and crypto art specifically. So we'll be watching the space and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, it's a very interesting field, really. It's amazing, really, what you can get a machine learning model to create now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I wish you luck with the launch. I hope everything goes well. I'll be monitoring and just seeing how it goes. And yeah, thank you very much for walking us through the whole thing.
Thank you. I've really appreciated it. It's been very interesting.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope this was useful, and I'll meet you in the next episode. So goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.